Shalom everybody, it's Kalila Kelly, your Irish stew, and tonight I'm going to talk about the one, the only, the amazing Greta Thunberg. The Greta Thunberg, whose mission has moved on from banal, boring things like the climate change crisis. Because that's what you do when there's a crisis, right? You abandon it and you forget about it because maybe it wasn't that urgent after all. And now she's moved her sights and her philanthropic efforts into something much more serious and much more rewarding, politically speaking. Yeah, a bit more now, a bit more happening. And it's the Gaza blockade. So Greta Thunberg and 11 activists embark on a mission to Gaza amid blockade. How very brave. How very brave. And how very helpful to the situation. I'm sure Hamas are waiting on the coastline with arms spread out, a welcome party, a welcome mat, perhaps even a red carpet that they got from Qatar, just lining the sand for Greta Thunberg and her merry men, her merry 11 soldiers, her knights of the round table following her. She's Merlin and they're all the other dudes with the swords. Let's go, let's go. Story by Alexis Caraco on msn.com.au. And here is the lovely lady. Yeah, one of the commentators said, Greta, why are you wearing a shawl that symbolizes fishing from an ancient city in Iraq? That's actually, the whole keffiyeh thing is actually from Iraq, apparently. And it signifies the fishing nets and the Tigris River and this beautiful ancient community in Iraq where Jews, according to the Bible, originally come from. Yeah, but anyway. So departing from Catania in southern Italy, their vessel, the Madeleine, is part of the Freedom Flotilla coalition. Yes. I'm sure Hamas is sitting there saying, you know what we need? It's another Freedom Flotilla. Another Freedom Flotilla from those do-good, pure as snow Europeans whose hearts are in the right place. They had 2 world wars. The last one was quite terrible. They killed a lot of Jews and they're feeling a bit guilty about that. So now they're going to make it up to us little brown people by pretending to care about Gaza and Israel. Sorry, Palestine. So they left Italy, floating across the Mediterranean, avoiding all of the ships that were harvesting fish for all the cooking shows set on the Mediterranean coast. And the group's goal is to bring essential aid to Gaza. How much aid can you bring if you're on a boat with only 11 people? There's millions of people in Gaza. How are you going to bring them essential goods? And what are you going to bring them? Chocolate, tampons, Swedish heirlooms? I don't know. I don't understand. But they're going to raise international awareness because nobody is aware of what's happening in Gaza. Raise awareness about what they describe as an unbearable humanitarian disaster. It's not a disaster, it's a war. It's a war that Hamas started, that Gazans started on October 7. Let's be very clear. The journey is expected to take 7 days to reach their destination, and the journalist pauses here, if they're not stopped. Because we know those damn Jews, they're out there in their planes and on their boats with their computers and their brains looking around what's happening in the oceans, stopping the freedom flotillas. How dare they? How dare those Jews stop us Europeans from doing the good and noble thing for those innocent brown people over there in Palestine? This isn't Thunberg's first attempt to join such a mission. She was initially slated to participate in a similar effort in May, but the journey was disrupted when the vessel was allegedly attacked by drones in international waters. So how do you know it was Israel? How do you know it wasn't like the French being pissed off about something, or the Chinese? International waters, it could have been anyone. It could have been someone from America, some kid on a drone being like, God, I hate Greta Thunberg, just shut up already. Maybe it was them, who knows? A strike the group blamed on Israel, of course, it's Israel's always at fault. Israel maintains a blockade is necessary to pressure Hamas into releasing hostages taken during the 7th of October attack, with over 52,000 Palestinians killed in Gaza in ruins. Again, Hamas's fault for starting a war. that they couldn't win, but that they knew would get international sympathy and more money flowing in to the situation. I don't know if they were like looking forward to Greta Thunberg. They're probably thinking, oh my God, yallah, why Greta? Why? Just keep the crazy woman out of here. Go home, Greta, go home. But critics accuse Israel of collective punishment. Well, it's not collective punishment. They want to get rid of Hamas. But it's a little bit hard to do that because Hamas, the cowards and assholes that they are, run in and hide with all the civilians. And they hide underground in the tunnels that they spent your billions of dollars of aid. Congratulations. What a wise investment. Your money they spent creating tunnels so they could hide in there like rats. So the only reason civilians are dying is because Hamas has embedded itself amongst the civilian population. The civilian population that voted for them, by the way. So the leaders, the scumbags, are hiding amongst the people. They hide their weapons in schools. They hide their weapons in places of worship, in mosques. How sacrilegious, how disrespectful, how grotesque. They hide them in schools. They hide them in homes. So the delineation between a Hamas fighter and a civilian, it doesn't exist in Gaza. I would love to see some other pure, noble, holy, and perfect nation to fight the same kind of war without killing any civilians. I would love to see that. Show me a country that's been able to do that. Show me a country that has the same enemy as Hamas, who hides behind civilian and human shields, and who uses its children and sacrifices them for its political ends. I was in a restaurant the other day, in a Lebanese restaurant. The food was okay. The hummus was fantastic. The baba ganoush was great. The salad, meh. The cabbage rolls, meh. But the hummus was great. And there was an Arabic radio station playing, and an announcement came over to interrupt the music. And the announcement basically said, we are thinking of Palestine and we are thinking of all of the people murdered, all of the children, the martyrs. Do you know that martyr is a very specific word? They didn't say, oh shit, there are all these children being murdered and killed in war. What they said was, oh shit, we have all of these children being martyred. Hello, plane. All of these children being martyred. That is a specific word that is used in a religious context. So Hamas and the Palestinian propagandists and the people who support the cause are using the word martyr for a specific reason. And the reason is they believe this is a holy war between Muslims and Jews. They cannot let Israel win. Not because they're colonizers, they're not. They were there long before the Arabs invaded in the 8th century. Come on, learn your history. They refer to Israel as the enemy because Israel are Jews. And Jews must be defeated. They cannot be superior to Muslims and to Islam. They cannot be. By the logic of progressive revelation. The Jews first, then the Christians, who screwed up all of the New Testament and the narratives and got everything wrong. And then the Quran came along and Islam came along, the perfect religion, to fix all of the previous mistakes. It cannot work for Hamas to claim religious supremacy if the Jews keep winning. It goes against God's plan. It doesn't make sense. So they refer to children who have been killed and murdered, if you like. They refer to them as martyrs rather than victims. So they are dying for a religious cause, for Islam. That tells you everything you need to know. And idiots in the West appropriating that term, our beloved martyrs, our beloved martyrs. Which university was it? Which Ivy League? I'm sorry, it's so absurd that only rich kids could come up with this shit. Which Ivy League university in the United States projected words onto one of the buildings saying, our beloved martyrs? How dare you? You're not even Muslim. You're not even a Christian. You wouldn't know the first thing about religion. You wouldn't know the first thing about history, and you certainly wouldn't know what it is to be a martyr. I suggest you look up Catholic history and Orthodox history if you want to learn about some incredible martyrs who really, they suffered for their religion. They went through hell. They were tortured, dismembered, disfigured, imprisoned for their lives, for their religion. And you appropriate that word like it's Play-Doh, like it's just something fun word confetti that we just throw around because we're just so modern in our universities that we pay tens of thousands of dollars for, that working class kids like you and I could only dream of. Oh, it's sickening. Oh, the West. The West. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed as a Westerner. I honest to freaking God am. And here's bloody Greta. No matter how dangerous this mission is, it is snow and near as dangerous as the silence of the entire world in the face of a live stream genocide. Greta, go back to saving the icebergs. Bye.